Lewis died, I quit the international relations program, which I had no real interest in, and majored in history alone. I loved studying history, writing papers, doing research, spending hours in the library with old texts, taking a break at the cafeteria, coming back. I moved around calmly and adopted the pretense of gravity. Naturally, I continued on to a master's degree and lost my anonymity after receiving accolades for a senior thesis I wrote for a class taught by the dean of the university himself. He took me under his wing and offered me a job as one of his teaching assistants. I became a history apprentice and was proud of my new status. The dean discussed future opportunities, studying abroad. I could see myself sitting in front of a fireplace in Oxford or Boston, aging with honor, and was no longer so upset about being rejected by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I was fearful of modern history, which reminded me of a terrifying waterfall rumbling with awful ferocity. I was looking for a peaceful life, one that revolved around ancient times whose history was open and shut, which did not awaken any intense emotions in anyone. I considered specializing in the history of the Far East, but for that I had to study Chinese or Japanese, and I didn't have much of a knack for languages. I wanted to stay far away from the disasters and calamities of our own people, guessing from the start the danger that lay in wait for me there. But when I met Ruth and knew we were headed toward marriage, I had to start thinking in practical terms. When I thought more about it, I realized that seemingly I had all of human history laid out before me, but that in fact there were only few open veins available to me. Job openings at universities were rare and quickly occupied by senior professors, and new jobs were given to outside hires, basically subcontractors, at hunger salaries. One day the dean told me that the Intelligence Corps was on the lookout for Iran experts and willing to fund doctoral studies in Persian history for a suitable candidate. The condition, the dean emphasized, was to commit to 7 years of standing Army service. I knew this kind of service meant sitting in an office at the Central Military Base in Tel Aviv, not in the tanks I manned during mandatory duty. But the thought of being drafted again caused me to lose a few nights of sleep, after which I informed the dean I wasn't interested. What's more, this specialization required, once again, learning a difficult foreign language. The dean understood and said that meant I had one last realistic option for continuing my life as a historian in Israel: getting a Ph.D. in Holocaust studies. I was afraid. I wanted to continue to cruise through life as on a calm lake, clear of worry and turmoil. I made a few barren attempts to evade this burden and almost succeeded. A fine university in Perth, Australia, accepted me to a doctoral program in medieval European history, offering housing and a teaching position. But Ruth wasn't thrilled about the idea of moving to Australia, and we already had a wedding date set. Had we gone to those sunny beaches, with pints of beer served from 4 in the afternoon, our shared fate might have been different. I gave in. I came to the dean's office and announced I was prepared to harness myself to the memory chariot. From the moment I did so, almost everything changed for the better. I received a small fellowship, a donation from an American Jewish family, which was sufficient to cover our modest lifestyle. I began to study German, and within a few months was able to read official SS letters. My proficiency remained fairly basic. I never tried to read Heine or Goethe. I gobbled up as many books and studies as I could find. That was my strength, the ability to digest large quantities of written material in a short amount of time. I was drawn to the technical details of annihilation: the mechanism, the manpower, the method. I delved deeper and deeper until my dissertation topic had formulated and received approval from my advisor. I was on track. Unity and distinction in